I'm joined by Stuart Kerrison, head groundsman for Essex County Cricket Club. Thanks for your time, Stuart.
No problem.
I think you're telling me earlier you've been in the job now, or in the industry, for 30 odd years. How did you actually get into it?
Yeah, I started in '84. I was on a work placement. Lucky enough, didn't know what I really wanted to do. My then Governor Andy Atkinson said there was a full-time job. Said, do you fancy it? I said, yeah, why not? And I've been there ever since. Worked up through the ranks, up to assistant, and then as head groundsman since '91.
So you're one of the top guys now in terms of cricket groundsmen around the country. What would you say is the biggest influence that's been on your career during that 30 years?
The biggest influence probably would have been Andy Atkinson. He was my mentor when I was growing up in formative years, 16 through to 23 when I took over as head groundsman. Andy's gone on to much better things. He's the International Cricket Council's pitch advisor. He gets to go all over the world now, but he gave us the love of the job, really.
And over that 30 years, have you seen much changes in how the job's done?
We've seen a lot of changes at first class level. We've had points penalties introduced for poor pitches, which puts an awful lot of pressure on you. We've had the introduction of T20, which is a very different beast to what we was having before. Actual maintenance of the grounds, there's been a lot of new machinery come on the market, the Graydon, the Coro, different machines, the drill, and it's made our life, I wouldn't say it's made it easier, but it's helped improve the quality of pitches. And
do you think that's actually transferred itself into the quality of the standard of cricket now?
Difficult to say, really. You talk to some of the old timers, and cricket was always better in their day.
Music was better in my day.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I think the standard of fielding is vastly improved. It's unrecognisable from what it was. Batting, that's changed slightly with the different bats and that they use. And the bowlers are just as clever as they were. They've all got tricks up their sleeves. I think we was talking earlier about the lack of spinners in the game.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something that we should be looking at to try and bring back in. But at the moment, it's the game is leaning towards the batsmen rather than the bowlers. So it may be difficult to get the spinners back into it.
And if you were to give one single piece of advice to any of our readers, what would that be?
That's a tricky one, really, just off the top of my head. Are you talking about maintenance sort of advice, or anything at all? Life advice?
Like to say, yeah.
Yeah, to be honest with you,
in terms of groundsmanship,
don't be a groundsman. Well, being a groundsman, to my mind, there's no better job, really. The trouble is, when you come into it, certainly at the first class level, it's low paid at the ground floor, but you stick at it for a few years and you start moving up the ladder. There's good opportunities out there. I would certainly recommend it to anyone to come into it. Cricket groundsman, maybe it's a bit more specialised than most of the other sports turf jobs, but any of those jobs, some of the football jobs that are going nowadays, fantastic place. You look at like Tottenham and Man City, those sort of grounds, those facilities are unbelievable now compared to what they were.
Do you share much information with other sports? Do you get
We don't really have too much of a crossover with the other sports and that. The only thing that we would have probably with the football boys would be getting like some of the outfields that we have at county level or test level now. You look at what Mick's got at Lords with his, it's a £1.2 million outfield.
Yeah.
It's heavily sanded. It's more like a football pitch than a cricket outfield used to be. But we don't swap too much ideas that way. But some of the machines they use on their surfaces, we could even use on our surfaces at some stage.
And we were talking earlier. You've got something that's been going on for about 4 years now. You're playing and practicing in a tent. Is that right?
Yeah, it's something that we started. I've been talking to Chris about it Chris Wood for quite a while at the ECB. We've been talking about different ideas, and we took a punt on pre-season nets in a marquee, just completely clear. All clear roofs and sides. It's about 6 metres high. We can get a full net system in there, and the players have loved it. They get English conditions early season without having to go abroad, which is very expensive now to take a team, plus all the extras like physios and all that sort of thing. But we started it about 4 years ago. Glamorgan have took it on. They've moved it on to another level with heating their whole tent. I think Keith's tent, even on a day like this, is about 28 degrees in there. And some of the other lads are using some of the grow lights that they use in football in some of the tents. It's been it's developing. It's a developing thing.
Well, Stuart, that's been really informative. Thanks for your time. Best of luck for the coming season.
Thank you very much.